Hey, what's up, everyone? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing fantastic. It's your boy, Dean Kulaweera here. Every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone, I'm right here to help you folks out with job search tips, advice, strategies, coming from my experiences as a tech recruiter, as an IT recruiter in the staffing industry. Now, although my specialty has been in IT, I try to share tips, advice, and strategies from a recruitment standpoint that makes sense whatever your industry is right, whether you're in IT, whether you're not in IT, doesn't matter. But in any case, don't feel shy. Feel free to say hi in the comments. Let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from. If especially if you're in IT, let me know what field you're in. Especially if you're based out of right here, Toronto, Canada. But even outside of Toronto, Canada, hey, I love hearing from everyone out there, and I'm happy to do these sessions to help you out with any job search related tips, advice that you might require. Right, so don't be shy. Let me know in the comments any questions you have job search related. I'm gonna keep it kind of like an open session today, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have job search related and all that good stuff. All right. So quick shout out to everyone on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Also shout out to all my people on Instagram. Apologies to everyone on Instagram. I haven't been going live on Instagram because I've been having some technical difficulties, but I think I figured out what the issue is. So there should be no further issues. So I'm going to start going live and doing these on Instagram as well. So shout out to everyone on Instagram. And let me first check if I am indeed live, because I don't know if I'm just speaking to myself right now, or maybe you folks are a bit of a shy crowd today, which is fine. Let me see here. Let me see here. Feel free to let me know in the comments, folks, if you can see me and hear me. Okay. Yeah, looks like there's a couple of you tuning in live. So good to have you here. So look, if you want to take advantage of this session, put in your questions or your comments, job search related, in the comments. Anything goes, folks. No such thing as a dumb question. No such thing as a stupid question. I ask dumb questions and stupid questions myself all the time, and I have no shame in doing it because look, I want to learn. Right, when I'm trying to learn something, I'm looking to learn. So if you're tuning in, you feel shy, don't feel shy. And feel free to put any questions you have job search related in the comments. All right, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Now, before I get into the questions that you folks might have in the comments, I wanted to share a quick tip in regards to follow up. All right, let's talk a bit about follow up, because follow up is something I feel like it's so important for job seekers, right? And it's something that I do as a recruiter. Like, follow up is like gold, and if you're a recruiter, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's extremely important to follow up. But I feel like this is not something spoken about often enough for the job seeking side of the equation, right? Like, follow up is extremely important for you as a job seeker. Now, before I get into that, I just want to speak on something real quick in relation to follow up, almost as a prerequisite. Is not every opportunity out there, folks. Not every job offer out there is gonna just magically easily come to you. Some of the job offers out there will require you to follow up, because you will be competing against other comparable or similar candidates to yourself. And oftentimes, following up is just such a great way for you to stand out, maintain communication, show continued interest, and just be a consistent presence, right? And this is why follow up is such an important thing for you as job seekers. If you're a job seeker watching this, like, you gotta incorporate follow up as part of your strategy, your job search strategy. And I don't want you to think of follow up as simply a task. It's not a task. It's not something you do like picking up a pen or clicking on something on a website. It's not a one task that you do. It's a series of tasks carried out over a period of time. Right, if you're taking notes, you want to write this down. Follow up is not a single task. It's not you just reaching out to your recruiter or your point of contact and being like, hey, do you have an update? That's just one. That's just doing that once is not follow up. Right, follow up is a series of tasks. It's a strategy that needs to take place over a period of time, maybe a couple of days, maybe even a couple of weeks, hey, maybe even a couple of months, if you're really committed and you feel like this company would be making a mistake if they did not hire you, if they did not put an offer on the table. Now, some of you watching this might be like, Dean, are you serious? Like, follow up for a couple of months? Like, is that even worth it? Does it even make sense? Hey, maybe you might follow up over a couple of months and it might not make a difference. But I do have examples, folks, from people who have used this advice and who have taken this advice and continued following up with the company they wanted to work for. And in some of those cases, even after a few months, the company has gone back and said, hey, we want to move things forward with you. We want to continue the conversation. We had some things going on internally, but we definitely want to continue and explore whether this might be a great mutual fit here, right? It does happen, folks, right? But it's not going to happen if you don't incorporate follow up as part of your job search strategy, all right? So, okay, so it looks like we don't have a very, I guess, a kind of a quiet audience today. So maybe you folks don't have any questions. So I might just end the session shortly. But real quick on follow up, and that is uh, another reason why follow up is so important is simply because, keep in mind, not every hiring manager, not every hiring team makes decisions at the same speed. All right. This is something very important and crucial for you folks who are watching this to understand. Not everyone makes decisions like that, folks. All right. I personally, when I'm making a decision about something, depending on what the decision is, I might make a quick decision or I might need some time. I mean, might need some more information, more data, more logic to back up my decisions because I try to not make decisions emotionally. I make most of my and or all of my decisions based on logic and fact and reason. Or at least that's what I hey, maybe I don't do that all the time, but for the most part, I want to be confident when I'm making a decision. And sometimes I can make those confident decisions like boom, like easily. But sometimes I need more data, more information. I might need to take some time, maybe do my own research. So this is why follow up is extremely important, and this is why I always speak about considering and looking at follow up as a way for you to continuously add value to the hiring team, right? Because they might not feel confident about making a decision about you uh, just after meeting you once, right? Because look, this is not a small decision. Like making a hiring decision is not a small decision, and I feel like a lot of hiring managers aren't given enough credit for the importance of this decision that they're making. Like these decisions can be like hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, for the company. I know everyone talks about on LinkedIn, oh yeah, you should give candidates a chance, give candidates a chance, give people a chance, blah blah blah. Well, that's easier said than done, folks. Have you ever been responsible for like $100,000 or above decision, or maybe not $100,000, maybe it's like a $50,000 decision at a company? If you've ever been responsible for making such decisions, you know what I mean. It's not like a small task. Like you need to make sure that you're going ahead and moving ahead with the right person, right? And this brings me to, based on my experiences as a recruiter, like working in partnership with many hiring teams, like some hiring teams make quick decisions. Like they know right away, hey, we did a thorough pre-screen, we did a thorough interview process. We're 100% sure this is the right candidate. We want to put an offer on the table right away, right now. Get it done, Dean. Get this out to the candidate. We want to get a confirmation as soon as possible. We love the candidate. Let's get them started ASAP. Hey, that's the best case scenario, right? But that's not always going to be the scenario, folks. There are hiring teams out there and there are decision makers out there that just simply take more time to make decisions. Now, a simple metaphor I like to use personally is just think about decisions you make on a day to day basis. Like, let's say you go to a restaurant, right? And I want you to think about when you go to a restaurant, maybe with some friends, maybe with family. Like, I'm not talking about the situations where you're going by yourself. Like, you're going with friends, you're hanging out, you're going with family or something like that. There's 4 or 5 other people. Take note of how quickly or how much time each person takes to make their decision about what they want, right? Same menu, same items. Maybe you folks have similar tastes to each other, maybe you don't, but you all agree to this one restaurant. And take notice of how everyone might take a different period of amount of time, might need a different amount of time to make a final decision, right? You might make your decision about what you want to eat like this, like a snap decision, right? Because you did your research in advance, or maybe you've been to this place plenty of times before, you know exactly what you want. But then there might be other people at the table, like they might be overwhelmed with the amount of options on the menu. They're like, oh my god, like what do I take? I mean, this looks good, this looks good, this looks good. I don't know what I want to do, and they're kind of almost frozen in making a decision. They can't make a decision because there's too many options out there. And then there's others who are just simply not sure about what they want, unfortunately, right? They're like, oh my God, I don't know what I want. Like, when I was on the way here, I felt like this, but now I feel like this. But then there I see on the menu, they've got this, and this other great stuff, right? So everyone makes their decisions at different paces, right? Because everyone's situation might be different. Now, what does this have to do with follow-up? Well, what this has to do with follow-up is, first of all, don't think of follow-up. Again, I keep saying this, but do not think of follow-up as a one-time task. Like, you want to be a consistent presence. You want to be there so that by the time someone does make a decision, whether it's a snap decision or a decision that they might want to sit on for a couple of days, whatever the case is, or maybe even for a couple of weeks, heaven forbid, right? When it does happen, whatever the case is, if you're interested in working for this company, you're interested in being a part of this organization, if you feel that you've got what it takes to be a part of this company, then through follow up, you want to be there as a consistent presence, so that whenever it is this hiring manager finally gets around to making a decision, like you're on top of mind because you've been following up, you've been consistent, you've been a continuous presence on their mind because you've been staying in communication, right? So when they are ready to make a decision, they're like, hey, you know what, well, this person's been staying in touch, they've been a consistent presence, obviously they're interested, otherwise they wouldn't have been keeping in touch. Let's take the conversation further with this person, right? So this is the way I want you to start thinking about follow up. Is it's something that helps you accommodate people that might make decisions at different periods of time, right? Always remember this, folks. I mean, don't just think about these hiring managers as being indecisive and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, maybe for some of us who make quick decisions, we might feel a little impatient with people who need more time to make decisions. But the point here is you want to make sure that you are there at a very basic level. You just simply want to be there. You want to be there when they make that decision, right? Whether it takes a couple of hours, a couple of days, or maybe even a couple of weeks, right? Now, the fact that they're taking time, and yeah, it's going to cost them talent, it's going to cost them people, and people are going to take offers other places. Hey, 100% agree with you, but that's a totally different topic, right? We're not talking about that right now. What I'm simply talking about is why follow up is so important and so effective. Through your use of follow up, you will be able to accommodate people, decision makers, hiring managers who make decisions at varying speeds. All right, that's the point I'm trying to make here. So I want you thinking about that. I'm going to get to the comments now. If you have any questions about this or anything else, definitely feel free to put it in the comments. All right. We got Suminder in the house. Suminder Korg. Shout out to Suminder. Good to have you here, Suminder. Thanks so much for tuning in. Suminder says, I have a silly question. Excellent. I love silly questions, Suminder. So I'm looking forward to your question. So Suminder says, I have educational background in computer science from India, but then I moved to Canada and had to do a survival job like admin assistant. Is there a way to go back to my field? Can you please suggest a way to do so? All right, so Suminder, so basically, let me rephrase this, right? So for those of you watching, what Suminder is basically asking is, look, Dean, I have a background in computer science from India. Recently moved to Canada. Had to do some temporary non computer science related job. So in Suminder's case, this is a admin assistant job. Now she's asking, Dean, how do I get back into my field? Because I'm doing this as a survival thing right now, but this is not what I want to build my career. I want to get back into IT, into computer science. How can she do that? Now, not just her, but all of the rest of you out there who might be in this situation. First thing, Suminder, you need to show. First of all, you do have to leverage your previous experience in India. Okay, a lot of you think that, hey, just because I'm coming from another country, I can't use that experience. Well, I'm not sure what your situation is, Suminder. I'm not sure when you say a background in computer science, I'm not sure if you've only studied computer science, if you've held a job in computer science. Either case, you have to leverage whatever experience you do have, Suminder, right? Just because you're coming from another country does not mean your experience does not apply over here. You have to leverage what you have, folks. All right. Don't worry if you're concerned about things you don't have. It doesn't make sense for you to stress over and get anxious and anxiety about experience you don't have. What you can do, however, is you want to leverage experience you do have. So, Suminder, in your case, if you study computer science, or maybe you worked in some tech job over there back in India, you want to leverage that experience. You want to highlight that experience on your resume. You want to leverage that. You want to use that. Now, the other thing, Suminder, is, and this could depend on your field within computer science, you want to start building out your own portfolio of work, right? This is stuff that you can show employers and let them know, hey, yes, I have been away from my career after moving to Canada because I had to take up a survival job, but I've been keeping on top of my skills, my knowledge, my expertise. And maybe in your case, Saminder, I don't know, maybe you've been taking some certifications here. Maybe you've been doing some side projects, right, that are related to computer science. You want to show that you have that knowledge, that you will have a minimal ramp up period when you do get back into the field. So you want to show them that you're not rusty. You've been staying on top of your career. You've been staying on top of your profession, your skills, your knowledge, your expertise, and you're basically staying sharp on that stuff, right? So that's my advice to you, Suminder. Leverage the experience you do have. I don't care if you're from India, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, South Korea, Antarctica. I don't know if they even have companies up in Antarctica, but if they are, hey, if you have worked out there and you have relevant experience, you want to leverage that experience right here in Canada. It doesn't matter, right? It does not matter, especially in tech, in IT, where tech is the exact same. I mean, all over the world. And this is what I love about recruiting in tech is, yes, maybe there is discrimination, unfortunately, in some companies and some countries and stuff like that. But the great thing about tech is, look, the technology in other countries is pretty much the same as it is over here, right? Maybe the versions might be different. Maybe certain things might be different, but the methodologies, the technology itself, the software. I mean, it's pretty much standardized across the board. So whatever experience you have in India, Suminder, you want to leverage that, you want to use that, but you got to highlight it. Okay, people can't guess. They're not gonna guess that you already have experience in India. Highlight that on your resume. Highlight the relevant stuff. Talk about it. Speak about it. Build your own portfolio while you're here, and show them that you'll be able to, with minimal ramp up period, get on the job and get them results. All right. So hope that helps, my friend. Hope that helps. Let me know in the comments. Great question. Great question. All right. So we got Masi Salali. Masi, I'm gonna get to your question shortly. Just gonna take a sip out of my lemon water here. Okay, all right. So let's see. So Masi, my friend Masi says, "Hey Dean, thanks for the Q&A. As a recruiter, do you think there are any issues when you see someone that hasn't stayed at a job for longer than 1 year? I've been quite lucky and hardworking where I found better opportunities within a 6 to 8 month period, but now my resume CV looks like I've left every job before I hit the year. Is this seen as an issue from employers?" So Masi, this is a great question. I love this question. Actually, you know what? For Suminder and Masi, if you folks are both still watching, send me a direct message after the stream. I want to hook you up with my free PDF, how to run a recruiter through your resume. All right, it includes a sample script on how you should run recruiters through your resume. All right, so Masi, Suminder, if you're still there, send me a direct message after the stream and remind me, and then do it today because I might forget who you are by tomorrow or in the next couple of days. All right, so after the stream today, hit me up with a direct message. Just remind me, and I'll send you that PDF. All right, because these are great questions you guys are asking. All right, so Masi says, so Masi, look, your situation, like I've seen this situation happen a lot, right? So what Masi is basically saying is, look, he's had the opportunity to move from great opportunities multiple times within 6 to 8 month periods. Will this affect how recruiters see Masi? Or will this affect how employers see Masi? Right now, Masi, look, to be very frank with you, as a recruiter, like if I was recruiting on a full time permanent position, right, like a full time gig, right, and if I were to look at a candidate and their resume has a lot of like short term stints at previous and recent companies, to be frank, yes, it might be a red flag for me. It might be something that might be a concern for me, because look at it from the recruiter's perspective, Masi, right? Especially if it's a staffing agency, like I have to present people for these full-time permanent roles, and full-time permanent. Typically, our clients are looking to for the person to stay with them at least a couple of years. Let's say 2-3 years at least, right? The days of expecting 20, 30 years at a company is long gone. No employer out there, no reasonable employer is going to expect that, but at least for 2-3 years. Right now, if your resume, if it shows that looks like you've been jumping from company to company from a 6 to 8 month period, and yes, maybe you have great reason for doing that, maybe it was career advancement, as a recruiter this might be a red flag for me, right? Now, that being said, if you really are interested in this opportunity, if you really are want to move ahead with it, and you want to see if you can persuade me and change my mind, then what you got to do, Masi, you got to let the recruiter know that this is not just you randomly hopping from one company to another. You want to show, and maybe you can do this on your resume, or maybe if not, get on a call with the recruiter. You got to let the recruiter know the logic behind why you moved from these several opportunities, right? So from what you're saying, Masi, these were obviously career advancement opportunities. So you had to communicate on your resume how these were career advancement opportunities, right? Maybe that's through the position title. Maybe you can do a brief explanation under each position as to why you went into this position, because then I know as a recruiter that you didn't just you're not just someone who just hops from company to company, but you had logical reasons that these were career advancement opportunities that resulted in you moving into these new positions every 6 to 8 months. Now, another tip I wanted to provide with you for you, Masi, is if you want to get back into working for a company, for maybe you want to get into full-time role and you want to start working for companies for a number of years. Another great entryway for you to do this is just start, see if you can pick up contracts as well. Try to pick up a long-term contract, maybe a 1 year, 2 year contract, and see if you can stay in for that contract. If it makes sense for you, of course, stay in for that contract for at least a year or above, right? This will make recruiters feel more confident, like, as opposed to you working 6 to 8 months and moving to another company, 6 to 8 months, moving to another company. If you wanna get back into the good graces of recruiters who might be looking at your resume, see if you can take up a long-term contract, and see if you can renew that contract, stay with the company for maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years at least. So recruiters feel more confident. But to be frank, Masi, yes, it will be a bit of a red flag for recruiters and hiring managers, unless you're able to get on a phone call with them or communicate it on your resume that this was not just you hopping from job to job, but you had actual career advancement reasons as to why you moved in within short periods of time. All right. Hope that helps, Masi, and that's a great question there. So Hiran Patel. So shout out to Hiran. Hiran says, "Hello, Dean. How do I narrow job search in SAP basis HANA? Most of the times they are looking for a candidate with more than 5 to 6 years of experience. Can you suggest some tips?" Yeah, so Hiran, I'm not exactly sure what it is. So I'm not sure of your situation, Hiran. So I'm guessing that you're someone maybe who does not have 5 to 6 years of experience, and you're searching for SAP basis and HANA roles. So I'm assuming most of the roles you're looking for require 5 to 6 years of experience. All right. So here, I'm just going to make an assumption here that you're talking about recruiters. All right. You're reaching out to recruiters, and they're recruiting they're looking for SAP basis HANA people with at least 5 to 6 years of experience. And I'm assuming here that you're entry level or you're junior or something of that sort. So first tip, and this by the way, not just goes for Hearing, but the rest of you out there, is something you got to know, folks, is that staffing agencies, for the most part, like 99% of the time, staffing agencies typically recruit on positions that are at least intermediate level and up. All right, 3 to 4 years of experience plus. So entry level roles, new graduate roles, these are areas that you'll find staffing agencies typically cannot help you with, because staffing agencies, again, they get engaged usually at the intermediate level and up. So this is why here you might find, and I'm assuming here that you're mostly reaching out to recruiters. If you're reaching out to and connecting with staffing agencies, for the most part, that's why they're going to be looking for 5 to 6 year plus years of experience. So here, and what I want you to do is you want to focus your attention on corporate recruiters, corporate in-house recruiters, so recruiters that are working internally at an organization. And secondly, you want to make direct contact with actual hiring managers at companies, because they're going to be the ones that have the most chance of actually wanting to engage with you, and who might be open to considering people that are that might not have the 5 to 6 years of experience. So again, connect with corporate recruiters, in-house recruiters, and second thing is you want to make direct contact with actual hiring managers. Staffing agencies, for the most part, are usually engaged by companies to work on intermediate level roles and up. So this is why those of you watching, not just here, but those of you watching who might be entry level, who might be new graduates, this is why you might be finding that you're trying to connect with staffing agencies and you're not getting much success. And it's because of this. It's because staffing agencies, for the most part, they work on positions that are at the intermediate level and up. All right. So here, and hope that helps, and hope I answer your question. Let me know in the comments if that helps. Masi says still here. Yep, awesome, sounds good. Suminder says still here. Good. Suminder says, "Hey Dean, silly question. So I have a computer science background from India, but so I'm not sure if your question got cut off there." Yeah, so just like what I told you before, Suminder, right? If all you have is your computer science degree from India, then you want to leverage that degree. Like, what projects did you do? What Because I'm sure you did some projects over there, right? Whether individually or as a group. Like, talk about those projects on your resume. Like a lot of you folks, by the way, and this is just, I'm kind of going on a rant here, but look, a lot of you new graduates, a lot of you new students who don't have professional experience, you only have academic experience. You're like, Dean, I only have a bachelor's, I only have a diploma in computer science, I only have studies, I only have academic knowledge of these things. Stop talking to yourself like that. Stop telling yourself like that doesn't count. That still counts, folks. But the fact is, I'm not clairvoyant. I'm not psychic. No recruiter out there is psychic. They don't know all the projects you did, all the amazing projects you did, all the amazing accomplishments, and all that stuff you did while you were learning in school. You got to highlight that on your resume as well as in your conversations, right? So Suminder and everyone else out there, if all you have is a degree, okay, or some certification or some degree or some diploma, stop telling yourself that does not count. You have to still leverage that, right? You can still say, if I'm a recruiter and you're talking to me, you'd be like, Dean, I don't have any professional experience for this entry level role. However, I have completed a 4-year degree, Dean, by the way, a 4-year degree, Dean, where I graduated, top of my class, and we were doing such and such projects. And in fact, some of the relevant projects were, Project ABC, where I did blah, 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 and whatever, which is exactly what you're using at your company for this role. And if you want, I have a link where I can actually show you my portfolio of some of these sample projects, Dean, which clearly demonstrate my ability to apply what I learned in school. So anyway, that's just a really, kind of a sloppy kind of an example there, Suminder. But the point here is, those of you out there who are new graduates and students, you have to leverage your academic experience, right? Those projects you did, because the point here is the employers, the recruiters, they want to see that you can apply what you've learned at school. And you can't do that if you're not leveraging your degree, your diploma, and what you've learned at school. Talk about those projects, right? So that's what I want you to do, Saminder, and everyone else out there. If you don't have professional work experience, use those academic projects you did at school. You want to leverage those. You want to show that you're not just someone with some piece of paper that says, hey, I graduated, but you're someone who has the knowledge, the experience, and the ability to apply what you learned at school. That's what you want to demonstrate. All right. So hope that helps, Sominder. And look, no such thing as a silly question. All right. So stop saying silly question. These are great questions, right? And this goes out to all of you out there, right? What you tell yourself is the reality you create, folks. All right. So if you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm just a new graduate, or oh, I'm new to the country, I can't do this, I can't do that. Guess what, folks? Guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna reflect in your personality. Your subconscious affects your personality, how you present yourself, how you communicate, how you speak. All right. So stop. Be very careful of the words you're telling to yourself. All right. This is very important, folks. All right. So all the best with that, Suminder. Hope that helps. And hey, all the best. All right. Don't give up and keep pushing through. All right. So we got Masi. He says, thanks a lot. Hey, no worries, Masi. Masi says, thanks a lot. That really helps. I will add some information to my resume to explain the reasoning. And yeah, it has always been an advancement from graduate to senior to lead UX designer. It really helps to get some insight from you. Thanks. Okay, so Masi, this gave me so this is way more. This gives me some more details, right? So if I saw on your resume that maybe these were short stints, but if I see that it was first like junior level UX designer, and then I see after 6 to 8 months you move into intermediate level UX designer, then I see you move after a few months senior level UX designer, and then finally lead UX designer. Hey, that's a different story then. Then I'm not as concerned because I can clearly see on your resume, okay, this dude is not just jumping from job to job. Like he's clearly advancing in his career. That's why he's moving from these different positions from month to month. So yeah, exactly. So right there, Masi, if you can communicate that on your resume and clearly show that, then I mean then it makes logical sense to me why you've been switching from every couple of months, right? So it's not as much of a red flag for me. But that being said, Masi, I still want you to as much as possible get on the phone and explain to the recruiter, to the hiring manager, that these are career advancement opportunities. You want to show that there's a logic as to why you move from these positions every couple of months. You have to still explain it. I don't want you to assume that everything's going to be explained on the resume and the recruiter or whoever is going to get it. You still want to make sure that they understand that when you got them on the phone. All right. So hope that helps, Masi, and all the best, and keep me posted on that. And Hiran says, thanks, Dean. That was helpful information. No worries, Hiran. By the way, Hiran, if you're still there as well, same thing as with Masi and Suminder. Send me a direct message after the stream because I loved your question. I loved your comment. And I'll send you that PDF, how to run a recruiter through your resume. I'd love to send you that free PDF. And it basically has a sample script on how you should be running recruiters through your resume. All right. So feel free to send me a direct message afterwards here and be happy to hook you up with that. All right. So looks like those are all the questions today, folks. Look, I hope everyone got great value out of today's session. Masi says, awesome. Cheers. Will do. I have to drop as I have a meeting to attend. We'll definitely keep in touch. All right. Sounds good, Masi. All the best at the meeting, and appreciate you tuning in. And Hiran says, sure, I will. Awesome. Sounds good, Hiran. So look, hope everyone got great information out of today's session. So what are some key takeaways, folks? For those of you still here, feel free to share your key takeaways in the comments. All right. I know my key takeaways are this. Number one, follow up, right? If nothing else, you need to continuously follow up with the recruiter, with the hiring team. If nothing else, simply because not everyone makes, quick decisions, right? Not everyone makes quick decisions, folks. Some people need a few hours. Some people make immediate decisions. Some people need a few hours. Some people need a few days. Hey, some people even need a few weeks and months to make a decision, all right? So that's why you need to follow up as a job applicant. What's the next takeaway? Next takeaway is, I don't care if you're new to the country. I don't care if you're a student. I don't care if you're a new graduate. Leverage whatever knowledge, expertise, and experience you do have for the positions that interest you. Do not assume just because you're new to the country or you're a graduate, you're a student, that nothing counts. It all counts, folks. But if you're telling yourself, oh, this doesn't count, oh, I'm new to the country, oh, I come from India, I come from China, I come from Alaska or something like that, and that experience is not going to count here in Toronto. If you keep telling yourself that, guess what? Your subconscious will affect your confidence, how you present yourself, your energy, your presentation skills, all of that stuff, folks. Okay, so be very, 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 very careful about what you allow to enter your mind. Stop thinking that you don't have what it takes. You do have what it takes. You've invested in yourself. You've invested in your education. You've nailed those projects. You've got A's and A pluses or B's or whatever it is, and you achieved. You got your degree or your diploma and whatever it is. Now what you got to do is you got to leverage that, folks, because look, it's not just a piece of paper. You got to leverage all those experiences you had in school, or if you're in a new country, all those experiences you had in your old country where you come from. You got to leverage that, bring that to the table, show the employer that, hey, this is all I bring to the table. These are all my successes. These are all my wins. These are all the measurable end results and outcomes and KPIs I've delivered in the past. And this is exactly why, Mr. and Mrs. Hiring Manager or Mr. and Mrs. Recruiter, this is exactly why you should consider me for this role, because I can do the same for you and your company. All right. So look, keep pushing through, folks. Don't give up. And remember, mark your calendars every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone. I'm right here to hook you folks up with job search tips, advice, strategies that you can apply to your job search. Don't forget to hit me up with a like and a share. And feel free to share with your friends, folks. If you have people in your network that might be struggling with their job search, I guarantee they'll benefit from following me, because I'm always posting all sorts of job search related tips, advice, and content to help you folks out there. Right now, quick something for those of you who are IT professionals tuning in. What I'm recruiting on right now, I'm currently looking for a. By the way, unfortunately, no sponsorship available. Right, this has to be people who are here in Toronto looking for a systems admin with a specialty with strong expertise in Office 365 as well as Microsoft Cloud, Azure Cloud. Now, this person does have to be eligible for secret level government clearance, because they're going to be working on some government projects here in Canada. So to be eligible for secret level clearance, you do have to be either a Canadian citizen, or you have to be, I believe, a PR or living in Canada consecutively for the past 10 years. All right. Other role I'm recruiting on is I'm looking for a professional services solutions consultant. This is ideally someone coming from a networking background, right? This is a senior level role, 8+ years of experience, strong IT networking and security background. Now more so of a person who's doing pre-sales, solutions architecture, that kind of work. These are all full-time permanent positions. So if this sounds like you or someone you know, let me know. Send me a direct message. Happy to see if I can help you with those roles. All right, and keep in touch, even if you're not. If these roles do not match your background, I still want to know you. I still want to hear from you. If you're an IT professional here in Toronto, Canada, let's get in communication. Let's get in touch. Let's stay in touch. If I can't help you now, I'll do my best to help you at some point in the future. Right? Hey, Dean Kulaweera here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hit me up with a like and a share. And remember, Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone. I'm right here. Right? Hey, everyone, have a fantastic week. Keep killing it. Keep pushing. Keep moving through. Keep taking action. And don't give up, folks. Don't give up. All right? Take care.